Ah, we're live. We are live. Dude, why does my mic squeak so much when it moves? It's so annoying. I'd be jamming to the music. I can't even focus. All right, let me send this link in here as well. Alrighty. That's set up. That's set up. Where's my snacks? I'm gonna have some snacks today while I code. We're gonna get a bunch done, so I need some snacks. I got my drinks. I think I'm all ready to go. Let's do it. Okay. First thing, why are these here? They're not supposed to be here. That's disgusting. These are supposed to be at the bottom of the screen. Come on, Unreal, be better. Alright, now we're in a custom projectile movement component. This is going to take quite a bit. Let me go to my Notion board and code. Let's set the color of this back to default. Oh. Ugh. Why is my entire computer lagging? Okay. Custom projectile movement component, we're going to set this color to green. That way it shows that this is what we're currently working on. Yeah, alright. Let's move this over. Minimize that so I can still see the stream chat. And let's get going. Class defaults, we need to search for tag. We want to add a tag movement component. I think that's the tag I have on the player movement component. Tag. Yeah, well, just to make sure, we'll just copy and paste it because that's pretty vital to the whole physics stuff that we'll be doing today. And then we need to add an interface. Add an interface, custom physics. Okay, ATF underscore physics. So now we've got all of this stuff. So, in theory, if we go to our weapon pickups, or actually our pickup base, pickup base, can we replace this isn't like a widget. What do you mean about time? Calm down. Oof. This is going to be a lot of code refactor. This is going to be a lot of code refactor. That is for sure. But if I just add PMC, blueprint custom PMC, yeah, we still have access to everything. Cool. Anyways, yeah, this is gonna be a huge code refactor. Okay. Let's just see if this works. In theory, when this grenade explodes near these grenade pickup, or yeah, the grenade pickup should work still. We should get a bunch of numbers, or actually should be the same number, all get printed. Let's see how many grenades are here. 10. So we should get the number, give or take 10 times. Yeah, 0. 0. 2. Here. And then if I pick up just a single fracture grenade and activate it. Boom. 3. 4. 5. Cool, it's working. So that means our custom projectile movement is working as intended. Oh boy. This is where this is going to become an issue. I don't like this. This is going to be very, very, very tedious. Alright, let's do this. First thing we need is a reacts to physics. Reacts to custom physics boolean. And we're going to create a new thing called physics reaction. That's rection. Physics rection. That sounds very bad. Physics reaction, we're going to put this right above there. So in theory, yeah, it's right there. Actually, we should have this below velocity. This ordering thing in Unreal is very weird. Anyways, now we have this boolean for reacting to custom physics. So I guess what we could do is just on the begin play, we can check if this wants to react to custom physics, and if it does, then we can just get the tags and remove. Hey everyone, how's it going? Also, Mr. Lonely. I got your back in chat, don't worry. I got you. In the general chat. Alright, let's test this. We want it to react to physics by default. Very certain projectiles like plasma bolts won't react to physics. So if we throw this, boom. Wow, look at that, it ain't working. But then, even though that's true, strange. That's very strange. That should be working. Oh, it's because I'm not printing a string. I is dumb. Okay. Now let's try this again. So this should be printing out a string. Boop. Yeah, prints out the location. And then if we go to the pickup base and we tell it we don't want to direct to custom physics, should not print out the string. Cool, it doesn't. Nice, simple, very easy code. It's coming along nicely. Still waiting on some news from Fab for the Epic Online Services stuff, so we can. Right now, I can't. Like, I can package, but right now we can't get into multiplayer matches. So, right now, no testing is happening. I can thankfully get back in the editor. There was like a week where I wasn't able to get into the editor because Visual Studio was being a butt, and because of the Epic Online Services plugin. So that's all fixed now. I can do what I need. And yeah, it's all working now. So we're working on making the custom projectile movement component. That way things can react to physics. And that's, yeah. Oh wait, we can do this cleaner. Yeah, okay, cool. Cool. All right. That's that code set up. So basically, I have all these functions. Don't worry about that. That's a custom thing. But when we input our radial force parameters, I have a custom structure that allows me to like customize horizontal and vertical forces rather than just a static force in a direction. This way, things like grenade jumps, grenades will send you a lot more, or they'll add a lot more force vertically than they will horizontally. So grenade jumps are easier to do, and you're less likely to get blown off the map. For any testers who have tested early versions, they know that I had the grenade forces fairly high, and that was on purpose. But you would just get blasted off the map, and if you didn't have something like a grappling hook or a thruster pack, you just couldn't save yourself. This is kind of the best of both worlds, is you still get a lot of grenade force, but you're not as likely to get blasted off the map just from a single grenade. So You might get a bunch of height, but you won't get a bunch of distance. So that's what this does. Is this just determines the force, and then this will add the custom impulse. So now we need to set up that velocity, or that function. And actually, we need to set up two functions, because we need another boolean called this is another boolean, which by default honestly should be off. And basically what we want to do is we have two settings, and many of the projectiles will actually use these very different stuff. So basically what it is this boolean, if this is true, then that means we want to append the velocity. So something like a grenade, actually, let me just draw this. So if we say that this green circle is where the explosion is starting, so this is a grenade that is exploding, we'll make it red. And then this is the, let's say the radius of that grenade. And let's say, oh, my grenade's coming in here, and it's arcing inwards. If we have that set to true, then the grenade will actually it'll append that, so it'll keep its horizontal velocity as it's coming in, and it'll go outwards like that. So it'll kind of come inwards, boom. The grenade, this one explodes right here. It'll keep its velocity, but it'll get some velocity added to it, because that's where the direction is from here to there. So it'll add that velocity and then keep flying. Kind of your standard thing. However, certain projectiles like rockets, just to make it feel better, this isn't realistic, but it makes it feel better. If the rocket's coming in like this, yeah, I use Microsoft Paint, what about it? Then when it explodes, instead of it adding velocity, which would actually end up, if this is the angle that velocity is added, the angle would end up being something like this. When the rocket comes in, when this explodes, instead, if that boolean is false, it'll just take the direct velocity from here and just set it to be that. So yeah, that's basically what we're gonna do. So different projectiles will react differently to different things. And actually, now that I'm thinking about that, we want this to be a custom enum. Oh, what is up, kitty? Yeah, I get home from work, rest for 30-40 minutes, and then stream Onyx. Right back to work, just on a hobby. Appreciate it, kitty. Have fun with whatever you're doing, I assume work, but... Okay. Now we actually have three things. So if we set this to the E underscore reaction or velocity reaction type. Yeah. Shut up. And instead of a boolean, we do a switch. And yeah, if it's additive, we want to add custom impulse. If it's set, or if it's vector, then we want to normalize. And then we want to get initial velocity and local, nope. Get initial velocity, initial speed, is that actually what it is? Yeah, initial speed. We want to multiply these. I don't know which projectiles would use this yet, but hey, it's a good thing to have. Okay, and then this one, we just need to set it directly. Just straight up, we're just copying this velocity. We're yoinking that code, we're yoinking that value and just setting it straight to it. So now add custom impulse, we get velocity. And we just simply add these two together. And then we just call set velocity. A lot of these are using the same functions, which keeps it simple. And then, yeah, anytime we set velocity, we can also do some custom code in here to we have an event dispatcher called velocity updated. And basically we can call this, which will allow us to do some fancy schmancy networking stuff. So technically, this should already be working. Actually, well, no, it shouldn't, because we're going to have to go through and replace all of this reference with this. But if we set the velocity to set, which is what weapon pickups will be using. Yeah, see, nothing's happening because we need to... Boy, that's going to be a lot of code. So, only one way to do it. Let's copy the name first. I swear if this crashes on... I knew it. Alright. Looks like we're calling this manually. We're just fixing all this code manually. And then we're gonna have to copy over all the settings manually. Which is actually probably good, because I didn't even think about copying over the settings until just now. And because I have this, I can honestly probably clean up some of my code. Honestly, this is going to take a huge pass for anything that has projectiles. Or anything that's using the default projectile movement component, I can do a huge pass on it now. That's not something I'd probably end up doing on stream. Oh yeah. You see, if I drop this pickup base in the level, I'll just stick it right here. If I walk up to this and interact with it, it'll make it bounce. So... but it doesn't have the nice physics that the weapon pickups do. So this is technically what we're gonna be. This is technically the code that we're copying. So well, this is the code we're copying, because we're gonna throw that on our custom event dispatcher called velocity updated. An entire unit system? Why? The world has enough unit systems. That makes sense. All right. 200, yes. Or 200. Should bounce as yes. Bounciness is 0.35, friction is 0.3. Interp movement. Okay, that's it. It's just interp movement. Cool. Now in theory, or let's go to the grenade pickup and replace all references just to make sure. No references in here. Cool. And let's go to weapon pickup. No references in there. Cool. So I can very easily delete this now. Should compile. Yurt. And in theory, okay, all the weapon pickups are still sliding. They're still doing their thing. In theory, if we throw a grenade, but that's unfortunate. Oh, probably because we got to do this stupid crap here. Because Unreal, for some reason, stops updating the movement component when it comes to a full stop. So you gotta do this, and it's very, very stupid, and I don't understand why, and that's one of the things that I'm thinking I can fix in my code. And it's still not working. Woo! Alright, now we gotta figure out what's going on. Because we have, oh, it's because we have reactive physics off. So my code is working. I was just dumb. So now in theory, if we set reactive physics on, nice, look at that. Weapon physics react, or weapons reactive physics again. Doom. Doom. Oh. Yes, sir. Physics. However, I'm thinking I might want to add some custom rules for how it reacts to downwards physics. Because I think that's what made... Because back to Microsoft Paint. If we get a good old box, and this is the floor, and we have Mr. Blue Circle here is a grenade laying on the ground. This is grenade pickup. If a grenade in the air, oh, we gotta do this too. If a grenade explodes up in the air, if we draw that vector, that's going to be pointing downwards. So any force that we set on this thing, this grenade pickup on the ground is now going to be getting pushed into the ground. I think what I did before to make that feel better is I actually just took whatever this was and inverted it. So if it was facing downwards, I actually just pushed it upwards. And that way, even if grenades explode in the air, grenades still bounce, and it just felt better. Because like right now, if I stick this grenade right next to them, yeah, I mean, sure, that feels good, whatever. But then if I stick this grenade on the wall, the weapon just barely moves, and to me that just doesn't feel as good. Like you want the weapons to bounce. I mean, maybe that's fine, but I don't know if I want to add a custom rule for that. Because honestly, the weapon pickups are the only ones that react like that. All the other projectiles will react how they're supposed to. I don't even know what I'm doing here anymore. I haven't touched this code in ages either. Oh, I mean, I can delete this. That was just testing stuff. I know what this is doing. Let's see. We can get rid of this code if I do that custom code. Yes, circle. Paint is a very good tool to draw out your ideas and make sure that your ideas work in theory. And then you're like, yeah, this works in theory. And you go to code it in reality, and then you find out in reality, it doesn't work. So, yeah. Anyways. Well, I mean, that's the biggest thing. Alright, that's the end of the stream. Goodbye. I'm kidding. I'm so hilarious. What would y'all do without my humor? Oh, that's sick. Oh, wait. Yeah, that means ground pounding now works. So if I ground pound a bunch of items, you should see the items. Dong, bam! Look at that. You see all the items fly away. You'll see all the players fly away. That's cool. I'm happy with that. That's cool. I like that. That's going to be so sick in game. You ground pound the ground. You see all the weapon pickups and players and vehicles and stuff flying away. That'll be really nice. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that that feels a little lackluster for that grenade like going off above the weapons and they just kind of barely slide? Or do y'all think that feels right? I still have yet to fix this bug. Mainly because I have to reanimate it because I don't like this grenade throw. It's way too quick. I'm gonna go ground pound. Oh yeah, you missed something. So, long story short, all of the abilities are getting a huge upgrade. So, the grappling hook will stay exactly as you know it. The thruster pack staying exactly as you know it. And the lattice shield is staying exactly as you know it. Those three are the only things that aren't really changing. The lattice shield might receive a slight buff. Because I don't know if you, I don't know how much you remember about the abilities. It's been a minute since we've all played. But the lattice shield is literally, it's just a shield. You know, it blocks all damage for however long you hold it up. You know, that is fine. It blocks 100% damage. It's like it doesn't have health or anything like that. So it's a pretty overpowered thing already, just the fact that it blocks 100% damage. However, if we notice that the lattice shield isn't being used as much as everything else, I will give it a kind of EMP effect, kind of like Armor Lock in Halo Reach, where, you know, if people are just camping you and holding, like, just waiting for your shield to go down, that way they can, like, shoot you with a shotgun or something, I might give it an EMP effect so that it'll, when it deactivates, it'll EMP whoever's in front of it. So we'll see about that. But other than that, it's not really going to get an upgrade. But the other 4 abilities, the Shockwave, or actually a lot of things have also gotten renamed. So you might remember the Double Jump. That is being renamed to the Shockwave, which is what I currently have equipped. You can kind of see the icon down here. It's the Double Jump icon. The Double Jump is being renamed now to Shockwave because Double Jump is just a very lackluster name. And it doesn't just double jump anymore. What was previously the Shockwave is now the Vortex Field, and that's going to be... I prototyped that a little bit in Gen 2, but nobody really got to play with it because I didn't network it. So only I, as the server, could use it properly. But essentially, it's like Ion's Vortex Shield from Titanfall and Halo Infinite's Repulsor combined into one. So you can push stuff, you can bounce with it, you can catch projectiles... Not just repulse them back, but you can actually like catch them, and it catches bullets and stuff too. So it's kind of like a lattice shield, but a little cooler because it just catches bullets and projectiles, and it's a smaller radius, smaller hit area. That's going to be a fun one to code. So that's probably going to be a dev stream on it. Like that's probably going to be like 3 dev streams because that's a very complex system. The hologram, I need to come up with a new name for it, but the hologram is getting upgraded so that you can actually switch. Yeah, agreed. And honestly, that is the biggest inspiration from Titanfall 2, is not only the slide but the abilities. That is the Titanfall inspiration in Onyx, is the abilities. I love all of Titanfall's like abilities and stuff. Not all of them are making it into Onyx because not all of them fit the gameplay. Personally, I don't think all of them fit the gameplay, but all of them have some inspiration one way or another. Like, there's no stim, but there is a speed boost, and that's an equipment. It's not an ability, but it's an equipment, and it does pretty much the exact same thing as a stim. So that's really where the Titanfall 2 inspiration comes in, is in the abilities and the equipment. Halo obviously inspires just the base weapon play, gunplay, and honestly kind of looks. But yeah, so let's see. Grappling hook, thruster pack, lattice shield. Those are all staying pretty much the same. Few tweaks here and there just to make them feel better. The hologram, instead of it just being a hologram, because we never really used that. It was just, oh, you got tricked. You shot one bullet at the hologram. And it was never really used strategically. Nobody ever picked up the hologram going, oh, I have a cool idea. I know how to use this. They just picked it up because either they didn't have an ability or they just spawned with it, and they were just like, oh, I guess this is what I spawned with. I guess I'm just gonna randomly use it and trick somebody. Now, to give it some more utility, and I can see a lot of big brain plays coming with this, you'll actually be able to swap places with the hologram. So, you know, you can send out the hologram, and instead of people just shooting one bullet at it and just ignoring the hologram, you'll kind of keep it in the back of your mind, okay, that's a hologram. He could swap with that at any time, so I need to keep attention on where I think he is and where his hologram is, because at any given moment, he could, swap places. And if you combine that with, like, an invisibility, you can swap places and go invisible and really, like, break someone's ankles. Like, if you go invisible and they don't know that you went invisible, you can really, like, do some big brain trickery. Or if, like, you throw a teleportation grenade as soon as you swap places, so you swap places and then you teleport somewhere random, they're not going to know where you went. So it's like there's some big brain plays that can come from the ability updates. The pulse dart is now just getting changed to the pulse blade, pretty much identical to Titanfall's, except I'm gonna have some gameplay differences where pulse blade. So it's a throwing knife. Also, yes, I did see your comment, Spooky Mallow. Yeah, it's come a long way, and I'm very happy with it. Also, what is going on with the camera? My man's. This is bothering me a lot. So yeah, this is the... Oh, pulse blade is broken. Probably because I updated the whole ability system. I'm glad I tested that. I'm gonna have to fix that later. I updated the whole ability system to work for the shockwave, and now I think everything else is broken. Oh, that's why it's breaking. It should work now. It's because the replay plugin is uninstalled because it doesn't have a 5.5 version. There we go. Wait for shaders to compile so you can actually see the full effects. Alright, now if I throw it, doom, it pulses, got a nice little ring effect, and then whatever it scans, it outlines, got a nice little digital effect on it. And then if you stick somebody with it, it's not going to be like Titanfall where it's a kill. If you stick somebody with it, it'll actually display their name tag above their head as well as their health and shield. So everyone on your team will be able to see the actual health and shield of that player, and they'll stay marked for longer than somebody who's just like scanned by the pulse. So gives the pulse blade a lot more utility. You want to stick somebody with it because now you can actually see their health and shield. Like that's very crucial info. So that's getting a little bit of an update just to make it a lot more usable, give it some more utility in multiplayer. And then let's see, I gotta go look at the drop down. Grappler, thruster, vortex field, shockwave, hologram, pulse blade, lattice shield. Yeah. And then the big thing about the shockwave is that instead of it now being just a double jump where, oh, I want to get to this area but I can't, oh, that's a terrible example. Oh, I want to get to this height but I can't reach it. Or in this instance, you can't make that jump. I don't have the leg power to do that. So, you know, you double, mother chucker. Shockwave. So, if I want to get to this height, you know, I can't reach that normally with just a normal jump. But if I double jump, I can mantle it now. But again, double jump was the thing that nobody really picked it up because it's just a double jump. It's just used to get height. And on maps where there maybe wasn't as much height, double jump was useless. So it's now called the shockwave, and it combines what the old shockwave used to be with the double jump, so that if you double jump, you get a short period where you can ground pound. And you can kind of see that on that reticle. You see that center part shrinking inwards. Or actually, I can show you over here. This little ring right here. You see this ring shrinking inwards, and that matches up perfectly with your recharge time. So, as soon as that ring shrinks, boom, you can't ground pound anymore, but you can only ground pound after you double jump. And the higher you are, the bigger of a radius you get, the bigger explosion, the more damage you'll deal. It only does EMP damage. So that's what you missed, Mr. Lonely. That was something we worked on stream like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, before all my engine stuff broke. That was actually right before all the engine stuff broke. So, but that should just give the double jump more utility, because now you can, you know, double jump, people are going to hear you double jump and go, okay, we need to listen to see if he's going to ground pound. And then if you ground pound, then, you know, if you hit somebody directly from a high enough height, it will insta-kill them. So, but you do have to be high enough. You can't just, like, you can't just go dunk dunk and kill them. Obviously, you can see by double tapping it, it just gave it a really small radius, because you're not falling from that high. You build charge as you fall, essentially. So yeah, that's basically all of the abilities. I need to fix this camera issue. I need to figure out what is going on. I don't know if that'll fix it. I think it seems like it did. Yeah. All right. But yeah, that's basically the shockwave now. You can still double, or you can. Oh, I hit my head on that. Whoops. Oh no, I just have the thruster pack enabled. I don't have the animations for it yet. That's next week. But yeah, so all of the abilities and equipment have kind of gone to rework to make them all hopefully equally usable and like make their utility more not more reliable, but just more interesting, I guess. So that's all that you missed. Nothing crazy. And obviously the thruster pack is inspired by Halo 5 and Infinite, just it's a lot more physics based, so it's got that Titanfall physics mindset. That was weird the way those shadows morphed in. That's very interesting. But yeah, so anyways, custom projectile movement component. That means that these are all affected by physics now, which is honestly was super easy to set up, mainly because I already had the functions all pre-made. So weapon pickups are now affected by grenades. And everything works. So we can go and check this off, and I'll get all the projectiles themselves to actually update. We can drag this to the bottom since it's finished. We can also drag all these to the bottom because they're also finished. Yes, I've added recoil. Shockwave is not finished yet, but we still need to get the art and some gameplay stuff, but we'll get this when we do the animation for it, like next week or in a couple weeks. We can go ahead and do proper uncrouch checks. That's also a very simple thing to do. All we need to do is that my brain just broke. I said all we need to do is, and then my brain just stopped working. Whenever we're doing our determine crouch and we are not wanting to crouch and we're lerping it, all we need to do is a sphere trace upwards, because what we're trying to fix here, which actually might not be an issue with something I just thought of. No, because that just looks bad. I was thinking we could keep this to where the player can be at like various crouched heights. But no, this just looks, this does not feel good. So basically what we should do is we just do a sphere trace for objects. And as long as this doesn't hit anything, then we go into here. And because of this code, we should just throw this into a sequence. And we can delete this. This way it feels good for players. I'm sure you guys don't even know what this code is doing, but it's fine. Get root collision half height here. And if this is equal to our standing half height, then that means we have fully uncrouched and we are no longer crouching. So yeah, just some base code that we're doing. Now we can work on this code. Okay. Yeah. Okay, whatever. Calm down. Let's just select all these nodes. And I just want to debug this. Get root collision width. Okay. No. Okay, let's see if that works. Oh my. Goodness, unreal. You should just instinctively know which one I'm trying to find. Oh gosh, it's constantly trying to run that function. Then we should be doing this, and as long as this is not equal to standing half height, because otherwise it's constantly doing those traces and that's going to get very performance heavy. I'm glad I was debugging that. So we are standing half height, but if we crouch and then we uncrouch, it doesn't until we do that. So now here my brain is melting. Now is where we do some big brain math in order to get the values that we want. Cool. None of these are green, which is good. That's what we want. Cool. Cool beans. Oh, and we're gonna have to set this up to be different for airborne, and I guess that doesn't really matter. I guess we just care if we have head height. But now we do this, but we do plus standing half height minus the radius plus itself. Addition is easier than multiplication, so we can just do that very simply. Split this, put this into the z, put that into the end. Now, in theory, oh, we can do that. We don't care about that. I added that code and it's actually causing bad stuff to happen. There you go. That's functioning nicely. Oh, I could have tested it on that staircase over there. Whoops. Huh. Oh, we don't need to add this. We just needed, or we don't need to do 2 of those. Why? Do we just need to do standing half height? Why is that so short? Because it's starting at the right location. Oh, because I'm dumb. Yo, what up? You're in class? Why are you watching my stream? I mean, I'm not complaining. I just don't want you to get in trouble. There we go. That's what I want. So now we can't uncrouch until we get to a height that we're allowed to uncrouch, and then it fully uncrouches us. Ow, I took damage. Nice. Alright, that all works. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Just please do not touch my Yeezys, because they are very cheesy. That is gross. I just kept rhyming stuff. Anyways, boom. Now we have proper uncrouch checks. That can be moved down here. That's not where I wanted to move it. Thank you. Goodness, this list just... You conceal your phone. Okay. I assume you're using earbuds too. Otherwise the entire class could hear me. Unless you just got me blasted on speaker. Bruh. What class are you in? Without putting a ton of info out on the internet. Oh my, that's so stupid. Ace Gen paper? What is that? What is that? I'm so confused what that is. What do you mean you don't know? You're in the class. So, I'm fairly certain you've been in my streams before, but I'm gonna confirm. You are someone that I know, yes? Like IRL? Or no? Or you just... Am I crazy? Okay. Well, I obviously know who you are. Singing Sunset Studios, Triple S. I know who you are. But yeah, I recognize Blizzard. But I couldn't remember if it was one of these students who I'm probably going to be getting a teaching job. So, for those who don't know, I will very likely be getting a teaching job teaching Unreal Engine in a high school. So that's why I was wondering, because you were saying you were in class. And I didn't know if you were one of the people who are probably about to be my students, because I'm teaching at my old high school and I go down and visit all the time. I forgot to text the school to see if I could go visit tomorrow. Whoops. You want to be my student now? Yeah, I mean, all I can disclose is that it's in Colorado. That's all I will disclose. But oof, Florida's rough. At least it's not Cali. Cali's in shambles right now. But yeah, no, I'm talking with the school a bunch and trying to figure out all of the technical details of teaching there and how we could get the class. I'll probably be teaching both I mean, yes, that's fair. But I'm trying to figure out all the details of the classes, so I'll probably end up teaching a Unreal Engine class. I already know exactly how I would have the rubric for teaching that. But I'd also probably end up teaching a CAD class for Fusion 360, which would be considered a CTE class, which would get me paid more. So I'm fine with that if that pays me more. But honestly, very excited to quit my current job and move down there so I can teach, because it's an hour away. I think CTE, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think it stands for Construction, Technology, and Engineering. So it's kind of just like a trade class for you know, the different trades. So a trade class would be like construction, welding, machine shop, engineering stuff. Those are considered CTE classes. Which, yeah, I think it's Construction, Technology, and Engineering. I think that's what CTE stands for. And game dev is technology. So, and if Onyx does well enough, those students, like, if Onyx does good, imagine those students being able to say, hey, I was taught by the developer of Project Onyx. Like, if Onyx does good, that's a huge thing for their resume. So, honestly, it kind of relies on me to be a good game developer for them to have a good resume piece. Because I consider myself to have a pretty decently high level understanding of networking, and when it comes to coding things, I don't even know how to explain it, but when it comes to coding things, my brain just solves problems in a certain way that I can very easily tell a flaw in a coding solution. You can ask some of my friends that I've taught some networking stuff to. they'll be like, oh, why do I want to do it like this? And I'm like, oh, I can already tell you why, then these are the issues. And they'd be like, oh. And so if I can teach that way of thinking to those students, then they'll be really, really, really like well off. I don't think I'm, you know, the greatest Unreal Engine developer out there, but I feel like I know enough to confidently teach some people stuff. There he is. There's the man, Mr. Van. Don't join his clan. I don't know. I'm in a rhyming mood today. Look at what we got working, Van. We got bada bing, bada boom. And look at those. They go flying. It's kind of... I mean, honestly, it's good. It's better than... It's not going to have like Halo CE, Halo Infinite levels where the weapons just go absolutely flying across the map. But, man, dropping bars. But the cool thing is, obviously, Van, you were here, I think, when we were working on the Shockwave, am I right? That is exactly what that was. I had to create a custom child blueprint of the projectile movements component. That way I can... blueprints, yeah, this. So this is my own custom projectile movement component. That's a child of the base Unreal Engine one. That way it inherits all of the same settings, but it allows me to add custom things to where I can add custom radial impulse. No, it wasn't a nightmare. I don't know, we coded this in what, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, like the full code for this. Like, this is all the code is. It's very simple. The issue is that I know I tell everyone I only code in blueprints, which is 100% true. However, due to this, yeah, the official invite link should be in the rules, I think. Or you can just create a one-time link, obviously, but the issue is now that this is turned from a hobby into a full-time project, like, this isn't just my hobby anymore. This is, I'm making this as a legitimate game now. I do have to do some C++ stuff. I think Van's getting a link for them, and if he can't send the link, or yeah, if he can't send the link, then I can quickly send it. But basically, yeah, now this is a full-term project. I can't technically do just 100% blueprints. I am still 100% coding it in blueprints, but there's certain things that you have to expose from C++. So all I had to do, I can't create a child of the base projectile movement component. So I had to create a C++ child of it, tell that C++ child to be blueprintable, which just allows it to be like to where I can create a blueprint child, and then it let me create a blueprint child. So technically I'm still not coding in C++ because I'm still doing all the code in here. I just had to do a little bit of, I literally copy and pasted a line from Google into the C++ class just to be able to do this. So I'm still coding 100% in blueprints. It's just I had to do a workaround in C++ to be able to allow me to do this. Oh yeah, that's always an issue. Appreciate you, Van. But yeah, Van, now because of the shockwave, I'm actually very happy with this. I can't wait to see this in game and just like do like a little like free cam replay like spin around of this, because I think this will look really sick. But because, you know, the ground pound does more force and a bigger radius based off of how high you are, if I drop down on these weapons, I have the thruster pack. That's unfortunate. I talked that entire thing up just to have the thruster pack instead of the shockwave. My bad. Anyways, Van, now if you see it. I know. And that's actually the things, the thrusters are getting renamed because they're not actually a thruster pack, they're like an energy. So if y'all want to help with this, I have yet to find a good name that I like. We've gone through so many different names of like ethereal dash and stuff like that. I don't mind stuff like that. However, I'd like to keep the simplicity of a one-word thing that also works as a verb. Like you say thrusters, I'm gonna thrust into him. I'm gonna thrust off the map. I'm gonna thrust out of the way. Thrusters works as a verb, you know. All the energy based names that we come up with, you're not gonna say I ethereal dashed to the side. You could just say dashed. I'm sure that works, but it also just, I think I'm gonna keep one word names for all the abilities, or at least try my best to. Like the shockwave, it's the shockwave. I mean, yes, you still say I ground pounded him, I double jumped, so I guess you can have the thrusters be called ethereal dash or something like that and still say I thrusted. I guess scented. I scented it off the edge. But now with the shockwave, if I double jump and then shockwave onto these weapons, bam, the weapons go absolutely flying. Which just having things like vehicles and just physics objects and players next to that when that goes off, like if you get a big radius from the max height, which that actually might have been max height, but if you get that radius and you have the particle effect and everything, honestly, I think that'll be a really cool screenshot. Is there a theme I'm going with, like for the naming scheme? I mean, I was trying to do crystal-based things because obviously everything in the game is based around crystals. Like the lattice shield. The lattice shield is a lattice. You know, crystals have a lattice structure. So the lattice shield is called the lattice shield, which I was very fond of. The grenades are called the fracture grenades. You know, crystals can fracture. And you have the binding grenade. That's not really crazy. And then ice and implosion. But like, I was trying to keep it crystalline themed, but it's not really something super crystal based. Like, it's still powered by crystals, but it's like an energy thing. So imagine you're standing and you're reaching out with your left hand and you're grabbing something like a, I don't know, like a bar that's like chest height. Imagine you're reaching out, grabbing that bar, and pulling yourself towards the bar. That's kind of what the thruster animation is going to be like. Your hand's going to go forward, grab like the air, and you'll see like a point, like an energy orb spawn in midair. And when you pull your hand towards you, you'll yank your hand towards you, and it'll pull you towards that point in space, and you'll kind of see like a warp effect around the player. It's a very weird thing, and I have absolutely zero idea how I'm going to do the particle effect for it. But I think it's a cool idea. And same thing for like thrusting backwards, because you can thrust, you know, omnidirectionally. When you thrust backwards, instead you'll start with your hand closed and you'll like push away from a surface. Soda light dash? Sounds like, oh, huh. Apparently, Crystal. Sounds like I'm jacked up on Dr. Pepper. You drink so much Dr. Pepper, you're on a soda light dash, or I don't know. You're gonna go make a run to the store for Dr. Pepper, so you're gonna make a soda light dash. That's what it sounds like to me. Magic. That's, yeah. Honestly, yes. Best way to describe it is it's magic. But it's really, you're manipulating space-time. Like, if you really wanted to give it a technical explanation, you're manipulating like space-time to create a wormhole to like pull you towards it. Wormholes suck. Okay, I'm not saying that. Like I don't know. I think I'm not really hell-bent on coming up with a new name for it. I like something like Ethereal Dash, but I'm sure there's something else we could do. All right. But yeah, no, it's nothing that like, oh, I did it. I did it. That was cool. Anyway, oh wait, can I stand? Oh boy. Whoops. But yeah, and then like we also need a new name for the hologram, because it's not really a it is a hologram still, but like you can swap places with it, so it'd be better to call it like a clone, like a digital clone, or you know, something fancier than that. I'm not really hell-bent on it being like crazy fancy, but you know, I mean, we got grappler. That's what the grappler is called. The grappling hook is called. Yeah, I feel like warp is better than dash, because that is technically what it's doing, is it's warping you to a place. But honestly, yeah, stuff like crystalline, like honestly, like that is one of the words that like shard hook for what, the grappling hook. Grappling hook isn't really crystal based, so I'm fine with just calling that the grappler. And the vortex field, like that doesn't have anything anywhere related to crystals, so it doesn't have to be crystal themed. It really is just energy themed. So like, yeah, the hologram, excuse me, the hologram, I need a name, maybe like, you know, I think what they called it, because there's something similar in Borderlands 2 where you could like swap with your clone, but your clone would also like shoot bullets and stuff. Mine's not going to do that. I think they call theirs the Digiclone, and that's like a cool name. It's, you know, it's a digital clone. It's a Digiclone. Pulse Blade, that's nothing crystal based. Shockwave, that's nothing specifically crystal based. So like, honestly, the Lattice Shield is the only one specifically crystal based. So it doesn't really have to stick with the crystal theme. Ah, the HUD shield effects are so cool. So happy with those. All right, let's look through the checklist again. The dual wield data table, that's something we'll work on when we get the animations for the dual wielding working. Grenade lag compensation, I'm not quite ready to show my lag compensation code. I also just don't have the code coded for that, and that's something that I'm just gonna have to sit down and put 100% of my brain to. I'm not gonna be able to code that while streaming. I mean, considering I would consider myself a movement demon with just my knowledge of the game, 100%. I mean, being that you can chain velocity, like already. Oh, I don't have the thruster pack. Why'd you make me take off the thruster pack? I can't believe you right now. Like yeah, you can, if you thrust, like you can gain some serious velocity pretty quickly. Like, I don't know how fast I'm moving right now, but just jumping and thrusting and sliding, like I'm gaining velocity. So, and you can drift your slide. Slide drifting is like my favorite feature ever. How do you drift your slide? Don't ask me. It's cool. That's all I care about. And also things like grenades, where, oh boy. Ah! And that bug is back. Yay, I'm so happy for myself that that bug is back. The slide sound just refuses to stop sometimes, and I hate it. But when I switch everything over to meta sounds, if it was something like Titanfall where that is actually like a specific part of the gameplay, I could see myself adding a velocity meter, or something like Doom. I think Doom is kind of based around velocity, or like Ultra Kill. I haven't really played those games at all, so I'm not sure. But like, if it was a game around, you know, building and maintaining speed, yeah, I could see myself doing that. But that's not the focus of the game. It just so happens that I'm a big fan of Titanfall and building speed, that I like the ability to chain together. Ooh. Did I just control A? I didn't even know that was a feature on Warhead. I could control A to select everything. Cool. If you die while sliding, yeah. It doesn't call the stop sliding function. There's a few GMC things and movement related things that I have to kind of go and revamp. And again, those aren't really things I'm going to stream, just simply because a lot of GMC stuff can be very technical, and I'm sure you guys don't mind, but I don't think that would be a fun thing to stream, not only to watch for the stream, but also me personally. Just, I don't think I would have a fun time streaming it, just because that's something that I would like to either throw on my own music in the background, not the Onyx music, and or like a movie, just because I like to throw on movies a lot of the time when I code, just because background noise, and it's something that I can, if I'm like stuck on an issue, I can just quickly stop, watch the movie for like 5-10 minutes while the issue kind of runs around in my head. Sorry, I accidentally opened up my phone and started responding to messages. Whoops. Anyways. Let's look back at the list. This is also a GMC based thing that I don't really know how I'm going to even test that. I'm going to have to set up like a specific thing in my test level to test this. And I'm going to have to code some aim cheats. That way I can make sure that bullets are getting hit on the client if the client says that they got hit. So I'm going to have to set up something for that. This, I need to look more into data assets. I need to do some more research on those. But basically what this will do is I would like you to be able to shoot grenades on the ground and have them do their little explosion effect. But instead of just copying and pasting the code from there into these, I want to set that up in a centralized location in data assets to where that code can be in the data asset, those settings are in the data asset. And then I can just call that on these. So but I need to do a little more research, excuse me, into data assets. So that's gonna take a little bit, and then that we're gonna do with animations. That we're doing with animations. That's with animations. That's with animations. That's with animations. That's also with dang, a lot of this code is just animation related. That's also animations. Oh, I didn't even see that question. Yeah, streams are normally anywhere between 1.5 to 3 hours. Lately, they've all been like 2 to 3 hours. But as we get closer to doing animation stuff, I'm completely saving animation. The stream has been up for an hour and a half already, so probably going to be ending it soon, in all honesty. But yeah, next week is all animation, so I'm trying to just like tick away at things that aren't animation based, that also aren't tedious. Some of these are stuff that I can already tell I'm gonna have to do some tedious code for. So honestly, I might end the stream now, because I also need to do some stuff for my personal life. I need to renew my tags on my car, which I can just very easily renew online, which is easy. I also have some tax stuff to do. I don't know if I'm gonna do this today though, but yeah. Man, what do you mean, Van?
Hello, everyone. Hey, welcome to a game development.
What? Oh, some freaking autoplay game dev video. Yeah, man, YouTube, thanks for coming by and chatting. Tomorrow will be working on probably the pickup spawners. That's kind of what I want to get working. So, see ya. Have a good shift at work.
I know it's been a while since
I don't know what you mean. This doesn't look bare bones at all. This looks like a finished and released game. This is a great game right here. Wow. No, I see what you mean, Van. This is crazy. I have not watched this video. Okay, this is max quality. I haven't watched this video in ages. Look at that. Look at that shoot animation for the SMG. Look at that. Look how bad this SMG feels. And then you go to you go to current Onyx and just look at this. Way more movement, feels way better. Sure, it's still a little static, and it could be better. But it's still good. Still way better. I just need muzzle flashes. Muzzle flashes are an art thing that I'm still not totally sure. I have a muzzle flash pack, but I don't know if it's really something I can use. Oh boy, the Helios. What a vehicle. It's crazy how much has stayed the same between all the versions. Like, this, I think, was only after... I think this build was, like... maybe 4 months? Yeah, because this was January 4th of 2023. Okay, so maybe this was, like, 6 months. I think this build was, like, 6 months of work just from start to finish. I mean, it's a full multiplayer game. Nice. Yeah, look at that horizontal force from that grenade. That's crazy. That's an insane amount of force. This will never happen in Onyx again. Actually, probably not never. It'll probably still happen occasionally. Dang. I did not have good bitrate for this upload. I should have uploaded it with a higher bitrate. That dude got melted. Oh, we don't talk about graphics. Look at that nice customization. Dang, this version is going to feel so good. Like, imagine this gameplay, but with all the stuff that's in here, like all the new animations, the new HUD, the new like. This is gonna feel really good. Dang, I didn't realize that it was that huge of an improvement. Like, I know we were talking about that the other day about you go look at this version, which arguably some things are better in this than in the Gen 2 version. But like this one's even more bare bones. Like everything here just looks flat. But everything here is also just super basic. None of this gameplay was fair. Dang. And then you go from that to this. About how much later is that? That's almost a year later. Which is still basic, but it is better. I can't wait to get back into full playtesting. This is going to be so fun. Oh, I need to get bullet holes working. Golly, there's so much to do. I'm not working on this 24/7 like I used to. I'm only working on this for like a couple hours after work. It's so hard to get like meaningful stuff done. I mean, like honestly, today we got meaningful stuff done. It was just these getting physics. Honestly, that's all that we did today. And the uncrouch stuff, which are honestly important, but goodness, I'm happy with that. Very happy. Actually, let us see how this works in multiplayer. Because that's nice and smooth. Nice. Nice. I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. Nice and smooth, like it's supposed to. Yeah, no, I know I've got time. Mind you, though, this has been a project 5 years in the making, technically. So, definitely is starting to. Well, and this is the third version, so definitely starting to feel a little not repetitive, but like I've gotten the game to the same point twice now in this version. I mean, this version is a lot better. This version is proving to be a worthy investment, which is all that matters. But yeah. Basically, Yeah, I think that's all we're gonna do today. I think I'm gonna go relax, maybe watch a movie. Eyes very tired. These aren't really polished things. These are all stuff that I kind of need the assault rifle to do this, so that needs the assault rifle to work properly. This is just gonna be a lot of 2D art, making some key icons that fit the HUD style. That way, when you're playing, and if you have this enabled, this won't be enabled by default. This is just purely for people who don't know their controls. But it'll show just like a little icon of your key next to your buttons. That way you can see like what buttons to press. The buddy asked for that feature, so that's that. The settings is going to take quite a bit to set up. Honestly, that'd be a good thing to stream, but not this week. Honestly, I'm very happy with... Honestly, what we'll probably end up doing tomorrow is either the pickup spawners and or the equipment icons. So, one of those things, if I do stream tomorrow, it's not a guarantee, but if I do stream tomorrow, these are what we'll probably work on. And the next week, we get into all of the animation stuff. So we'll start on first person, get all this to feel good. I want to add a few extra layers to the first person stuff, and then we'll just go from there. And then once all first person is done, go on to doing third person. And then once third person's done, most of this stuff should be done. So, alrighty, see ya. I'm also heading out, and stream is ending here. Kind of a short stream today. I don't know if I'll stream tomorrow, so we'll see. We will see. So, yeah. Alright, have a good one. But yeah, I'm also gonna head out. Stream's gonna end here, so thank you all for watching. We got some good work done today. Next week is when the real crunch time happens. It's when all the animations are gonna... That's when all the animations are gonna get done, and that's gonna be very boring. So streaming will be a good way to kind of take away some of that boredom. So I'm gonna end the stream here because I'm also yawning a ton. Might go to bed early. So I shall talk to you all later. So see ya.